Hello everyone and welcome back to the MOC Collective, and for today's video I want to talk about Blunt Girly because she has been getting a lot of hate recently. Well, she's always been getting a lot of hate ever since, like, I don't know, like she started her channel and stuff like that. And the main thing that a lot of people say is that, like, she's a pick-me and that she hates women and stuff like that. But personally, me, I feel like she is the farthest thing from a pick-me. And honestly, like, she is the true embodiment of women empowerment because, she tells women the truth. She tells women what they need to hear. She doesn't, coddle them. She doesn't, feed into their delusions. She holds them accountable, and she, gives them tips on how to improve themselves and how to become better. And, she's doing this by, giving weight loss tips, telling black women that, lace fronts don't look good on them and that they look way better with their natural hair, and that, telling them that, doing too much makes them look, way worse and stuff like that. So I don't understand how that is, pick me, how that's misogynistic, because she's helping them grow, she's helping them improve and becoming better people. Holding women accountable, telling them the truth is not misogyny or pick-me behavior. If anything, it's helping women become better and helping them grow and just, become better human beings. Because I feel like, women have been fed this lie saying that, they are beautiful just the way they are, and, they don't need to change for anyone. And I think, it does sound a little bit empowering, but it's toxic. It's very toxic, because this fake, sweet, feel-good garbage is sugar-coated delusion wrapped in a participation trophy, because it keeps women stuck, soft, and scared of self-awareness. And growth doesn't come from endless compliments. It comes from facing uncomfortable truths and doing something about them. So saying you don't need to change no matter what sounds like a nice Tumblr quote, but in reality, it's enabling. Because if a woman is treating people like trash, ignoring her health, stuck in toxic patterns, or projecting her insecurities on everyone around her, but y'all are still throwing her flowers and calling it self-love, that's not love. That's sabotage. You're co-signing her bullshit instead of holding her accountable. You're letting her rot in the name of confidence. And the phrase also puts a muzzle on reality. Suppose a woman is clearly struggling mentally, emotionally, physically, but every voice around her says, "No, queen, don't change a thing." Now now she's stuck between what she feels and what she's told to feel. So deep down, she might feel something's off, but social media is screaming at her saying, "Oh, you're perfect. Shut up and love yourself." That's emotional gaslighting dressed up as empowerment. And let's not ignore how this mess targets women specifically. Men don't get told that they're beautiful just as the way they are as much. They're told to level up, to fix their finances, hit the gym, be disciplined. But women, they get bathed in affirmations even when they're spiraling. Why? Because society would rather keep women feeling good than doing good. And why challenge them to evolve when it's easier to sell them skincare, crystals, and healing candles to distract from their chaos? And even worse, it kills ambition. So if you're constantly told there's nothing to improve, what the hell are you supposed to work towards? Growth gets labeled as self-hate, and anything to give accountability becomes internalized misogyny. You want to lose weight, you hate yourself. Want to fix your attitude, you're trying to be a pick-me. Want to level up emotionally, you're being too harsh. You're being too harsh. So you guys see, like, the trap, because no matter what you do to evolve, someone's ready to drag you black with a toxic ass compliment. And the truth is, there's nothing wrong with a woman wanting to change. There's nothing wrong with anyone wanting to change. And there's nothing wrong with not being enough yet. That's what being human is, because we grow, we adapt, we unlearn, we rebuild. And telling women they're flaws when they're clearly not doesn't make them strong. It makes them stagnant. Growth starts when you say, "You know what? I'm not where I want to be, but I'm going to change that." That's real power, not the curated Instagram filtered power everyone wants to shove down your throat. So, no, sis, you're not beautiful just the way you are, and that's okay. You can be worthy and still have room to grow. You can love yourself and still call yourself out, because empowerment is not about being worshipped, it's about being real. The world doesn't need more women stuck in delusion. It needs more women who are done lying to themselves and getting ready to do better. Enough with the fairy tales. Growth is the real glow up. And I feel like that's why a lot of people don't like Blunt Girly, because she's telling women the truth. She's not feeding into their delusions. And I feel like, many women are getting triggered by that. And I feel like that's why a lot of people are resorting to calling her names, bashing her online, making smear campaigns, because a lot of them simply just can't handle the truth. And, you know, and honestly, I feel like, telling women the truth, not coddling them, holding them accountable, and helping them grow, that's the least misogynistic thing you can do. So no, Blunt Girly is not a misogynist. She's not a pick-me. She's farthest from that. She really is. And, she's very logical, and I feel like that's why a lot of people don't like her. And, you know, that's just what it is. But I feel like Blunt Girly is not doing anything detrimental. I think she's doing a lot of great things, and she's actually, helping women in every way that she can, and she's doing that. She's doing a great job at it, and I'm really proud of her. And that's why I really like her channel, because I learn a lot from watching her. And I rarely see her degrade women on her channel. Like, I rarely hear her using derogatory terms to describe women. So, yeah, she's just holding them accountable. And a lot of people confuse that with being a pick-me and being a misogynist. And I remember one time, Blunt Girly commented on one of my posts, and I don't have a screenshot, but I remember she said something along the lines of, being logical is considered being a pick-me nowadays. And I thought that was so funny. Like, and it's so true. Like, nowadays, when you're logical, that can really get you canceled. Like, delusion really is the new logic at this point in 2025, because nowadays being logical is demonized.